Yeah, welcome to this video. Let's look at how we can summarize a bunch of text, maybe paragraphs or maybe conversations. Maybe it comes in form of array. So whereby there are maybe multiple people in the conversation. We'll look at how we can summarize all of this. We'll be looking at this in two different kind of projects, say Node.js projects. I'll also be looking at it from a React perspective. Now, this would work in any JavaScript library that you choose to use, but we'll be doing just these two. It will also work in Next.js. You should know that any package that works in React would also work in Next.js, so you should feel comfortable doing any of those for yourself. All right. Okay, so let's jump right in. The package we are going to be using is this one, a very plenty slash summarize. This is an AI powered summarizer that uses the power of ChatGPT provided to us by OpenAI. It is simple and straightforward. If you check out the documentation, this is the installation. You just need this line of code, and then you need to go get your API key from OpenAI. So just follow the instruction here. I already have my own, and you need to put it in a secure location like the .env file. Then one thing you need to know is that the examples here are in ECMAScript. That is the ES6 version of JavaScript. You can choose to change this to CommonJS, that is using the required instead. So you can just change the imports here to required, and you should be fine. So what we just need to do is to copy. Let's copy um, this example, and then let's move into our project. I already have my project set up here, so let's paste it inside of here, and then we need a text to summarize. So what we can do is to copy a bunch of text and see how it summarizes it. So um, let's go to any random site. Which site do we go to? Let's check out Next.js. All right, let's go to the documentation and see what we can get from there. So where is the documentation? Okay, docs. All right, now we'll copy everything we are seeing here so that we see what the summary is for us. All right, so let's copy it like this, and then let me remove this. Now inside of this place that there's supposed to be text, let's paste it in, and we'll just leave it like that. It will go through what has been imputed here and then do the summary for us. We need to put in our API key here, right? So for me, I already have it in my .env file here. So I what I'll just do is to import .env at the top here. So let's import um, .env. So .env like so. And then what are we importing? We're importing config. All right. So this should be inside of a curly brace like so. Okay. Let me just close this off, and then let's call the config here. So once we do this, we should now have access to our environment variable. So let's save this, and then let's check our terminal. So we'll do a node index and working. All right, now it has done a summary for us. And if you check it, it's telling us that Next.js is a React framework for building full stack application. And of course, it tells us everything we need to know. The documentation provides a sequential organization for building applications. It also emphasizes accessibility. And that is it. That is how simple it is for you to summarize a particular bunch of text. You notice that this was a whole lot of text, but it was able to go through it and summarize it perfectly for us. So you can also check out the Next.js documentation to see that the summary here is quite in line. All right, great. Before we move to doing it in a React application, let me also demonstrate how we can use this to summarize a conversation. So let's come back here. So instead of the this input that we initially did here, this time around we now have a JSON.stringify of the conversation. So this conversation will come in form of an array. So let me open the example we have here. The example we have here is the one provided for us here. So this is what the conversation looks like, whereby there's a role for user and the content. There's the assistant, and then this is the conversation. This is how it went down. I have already copied this conversation and put inside of my project. So what I'll just do is to reference it the way it was referenced here. So I'll just copy the conversation link here, paste it at the top here, and then the next thing I want to do is to change the input here and paste this. this is where I have it. So where is it? Conversation.js. So this is my conversation.js file, and this is it. So the whole conversation is already here. It's exported. So I did it initially. So now that I have it set up, let me save it and then come down here. Let me clear the terminal and ask for the summary of that conversation again. So you see the way it summarizes this different from what we initially had. Now, um, if I zoom in a little bit so that it's even clearer, it says the user is planning a kitchen project and wants a U-shaped layout, with other details. The assistant suggests softs and this and that, and then the assistant provides suggestion. Then the user expresses satisfaction. You can go through the conversation and then see that this summary is perfect for what the conversation or the discussion that they had between the assistant and the user. And this is how you do it if you are working on the Next.js project. Now, how about say you are working on a React project? How would you do this? So let's open up a React project, and let me move this back to the side. This is a React project I wanted us to work on. So let me move this. Okay, let me open it in a terminal. That should be the easiest way. And so let me open this inside of VS Code. So it opens it for us. So I didn't want to close I didn't want to close the initial project we are working on, this one, so that I can just copy and paste stuff. Life is easier when you can just copy and paste. All right. So let me move this to the side enough. All right. Now this is our React project. Great. Let me move this a little bit upwards so that I can easily get it when I want. All right. So I'll just clear off what I have here. This is just running test. So div like so. All right, great. So I'll just clear all of this, and then I will start the project. So to start the project is npm run dev, hit enter. Now that our server has started, let's open it in a browser. So um, this opens in a browser. Of course, the page is blank because we don't have anything here. So what I want to do is, first of all, install let me install the dependency, sorry, the project or the package. All right, so let's install it. So npm install very plenty slash summarize. All right, now it's installing. It should be done in a minute. Then what we are doing is exactly what we've done before, so nothing is different, just that this time around we are doing it inside of uh React. All right, so let's copy what we already had here, like so. So we'll copy it like this and then paste it in our React project. Okay, so let me close this off. All right, here's our React project. Great. So inside of here, we'll just paste this in like so, and then let's close this off. We'll get back to all of this in a minute. So of course we are getting some errors here telling us that text is declared but never read. Same thing with the conversation, declared but never read. Summarize. So summarize is actually installing. So we'll just give it a minute. Then we want to also copy the conversation file here. Let's copy the conversation file into the React one. Okay, so we're back here, and I'll just paste it inside of source. Okay, now the installation is complete, and let's restart the server again. Npm run dev. Of course, we'll have a bunch of errors here, so let's get rid of the .env, which are not necessary. Now let's save that. I think that should work. All right, the installation is complete. The server is also running. So what we want to do now is to do similarly like what we did the other time in the Node.js project, which is the first part of this video. So now what we just do is to, of course, let's copy this, okay, and then we'll drop it inside of the app.tsx like so. And so what we really need to make change to here is the API key. So the way we import API key in v2react is import.meta.env dot the name of the name of the key. So let's copy the key. This is the name of the key. So let's paste it here, right? And then we can get rid of this one. Okay, so once we save it now and probably refresh, we should get the summary inside of the console here. So let's refresh and then let's see what we get. Now it gives us the summary similar to what we got before. Next.js is a React framework for building full stack application like so down to the end. All right. Now this was for just text. So how about if we're doing it for a conversation? Now the main difference between doing this for a conversation and doing this for a text is JSON.stringify. So instead of the text here, use JSON.stringify because this conversation must come in as a string. But do not worry, the bots know how to dissect the message and get the summary that you really need. All right. So JSON.stringify. Um, let's put in the conversation and then let's save it. All right. This conversation is in form of an array already, like I showed you. But when you pass it as a string, it dissects it and gives us the answer. So let me refresh again so that I see just the output. All right. So it says a user and assistant discussion. So it already knows that this is between two people, and it starts giving you all the details you need to know. So out of this long conversation, we're able to get these few lines of summary, and that's how you summarize whether you are using just Node.js or you are using a React framework. Sorry, you are using a JavaScript framework like React or Vue.js, Next.js, and just anyone you think of. This works fine. That is it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.